how I help hundreds of startup founders in the Silicon Valley of Southeast Asia. Hi everybody, right? So my name is Mark and I'm the founder of Master Mentors, and I help people to make extra $10,000 to $30,000 per month, right, by building their own lucrative lifestyle business so that they get the freedom, time, and energy to do what matters the most. Just a very quick context. So back in 2016, right, after I graduated from business school, I joined a pretty well-known national startup community builder in Singapore. And my second job was the #1 employee of an angel investment group, one of the biggest in Southeast Asia, right, where I learned from and worked with many angel investors and venture capital firms as well. So during my time in both companies, I spoke to hundreds of startup founders through one-to-one calls, countless briefing sessions, government agencies, corporates, members, right, mentors in the VC and startup space, and helped to facilitate millions of dollars of funding and grants. One of my other roles was also being a startup analyst, right, for one of Singapore's most popular grants at that point of time as well. And so today, I'm just sharing the most valuable lessons that have helped me and many other founders today that I still use and implement for my business today. Number 1, no product, no problem. So one of the best things you can do before launching a product is to build what I call a wait list. So a waitlist just means you might not have a product, but you're asking people to say, hey, if you're interested to find out more when we do launch it, sign up your name for the email and we'll send you early access first. So you simply do so by collecting contact details from people who are interested in testing out your product or service once it's launched. So not only does it validate that what you're doing has demand, but it's also a way to find out who will be interested in what you have to offer and whether people ever want it in the first place. And it also becomes easier to find out your first wave of customers and clients when you do launch your product, because you already have people that are waiting for it already. This also helps, by the way, right, when you're trying to raise funds or find investors even without a proper live product yet. But that's not so relevant usually for lifestyle entrepreneurs, but that also shows the power of having a waitlist. It validates your product and idea, and you have confidence that you can keep moving forward no matter what. Number 2, create a minimum viable product. So as a community manager at a point of time, right, I was tasked with conducting weekly briefing sessions for startup founders who are new to the space. This included providing the best tips and strategies for getting the first wave of customers and funding from governments or investors, right, or the market. And so one of the biggest tips that helped most founders, right, after talking to them, was simply to be okay with creating an imperfect product. So this meant instead of trying to create a perfect product or service from the beginning, right, launch it as soon as you create something workable and refine it as you go along. You could also position what you created as a beta offer and inform people that the full product, while it's not out yet, but by being the first to test out and provide feedback, you'll get exclusive discounts, bonuses to anyone who signs up first. And so this way, you're upfront about what you're offering as not perfect, but you're already able to collect valuable data, customers, clients, right, and feedback from your customers already. So, and I also realized that at the end of the day, customers, we are not looking for a perfect product. We're just looking out for a way to solve our problems or to achieve our goals. And so by launching an MVP, right, or a beta product, it's actually a win-win not just for you, but win-win for everybody as well. Number 3, borrow credibility first. So when starting out, chances are most people will not trust your product or service yet. So whether you're trying to raise funds for investors or trying to get new customers, one of the best things you can do is to borrow credibility, which you can do in a couple of ways by, for example, by sharing data and research by established organizations that back up your claims of what you or your product can do. Past experiences, right, of the founders, maybe the companies you've been, the organization you're part of, the schools that you're in, right? So all this helps a lot in building credibility as well. You can also talk about who are you currently being mentored or advised by, right? Maybe professors, renowned entrepreneurs, right? VCs, corporates, right? Whatever, right? That makes it sound a bit more credible. And you can even share, right, by people or brands who have expressed interest or tried out your product already. So one thing we also share with customer clients is that, especially for the B2B space, where they might not say yes to you so quickly, they can sign what we call a letter of intent. So it's a non-legally binding document, but just a sign off by maybe a corporate or a famous or established investor or customer to say, hey, we are interested in what you have to buy, right? Please let us know when it's launched, and then we'll talk to you more about it. So all of this creates some credibility, right, which furthers your claims as well. Next thing, you do not need a perfect idea to win. So when studying the strategies of the best startup investors, one thing stood out above everything else. Most investors care less about the idea than the founders themselves. And it's like what Gary Vee says, bet on the jockey, not the horse. This simply means you do not need a perfect idea to succeed, but you need to constantly just develop and improve yourself as a person, your skills, your communication, your personality, your characteristics, so on and so forth. So this is especially important, right, for many of us today, right, if we're trying to get funding or just be in a coaching space or education space, it's not sometimes about just a product, it's about you as a person. right? And that's one of the best things I do. I run about Lucrative Lifestyle Business, which is, I'm pretty sure I'm not the best in the world what I do, right? As much as I'm going to improve, grow, upgrade myself, there's probably someone out there better than me. But the reason why people sign up with me is because of me as a person and not because I beat the competition, right? In that phrase. Next thing, sharing your why. So another common trait of many successful founders I've studied is that many communicate a strong reason behind what they do from the very beginning. And this is what we call their purpose or their why. So sharing this comes in two forms. Number one, your personal story of how you got started and why you're so into the idea. It can be your past experience, a struggle that you faced, you observed in the past, right? And it's really your big mission, right? Because of something that happened last time that fueled your mission of doing so. The other kind of why can actually be you assessing an opportunity or trend you are confident will be extremely profitable in the long term. And examples can include AI, crypto, selling purely without you having to be around, right? And so these are trends or opportunities, right, that you are confident can do well, and you want to share why you feel that is the case as well. And so besides sharing your brilliant strategy and tactics, people want to connect with your reason, your mission, your why for why you entered the space or industry in the first place. And so this also gives your customers or investors, right, that you're committed to this for the long term and not simply someone who will walk away when the going gets tough. Next thing, sales and marketing is number one priority. Yes, I know not everybody like to read this. However, what I've realized time and time again is that one of the most important activities that all successful founders do is to simply sell and market. So I also struggled this previously. After my business had a great wave of sales, right, in the first couple of months, it started dropping as soon as I focused on upgrading my product and neglecting sales. So the painful lesson I learned is this. I hope you don't make the same mistake, which is if you're someone who wants to build a business to not only achieve greater freedom, fulfillment for yourself and your family, but also to impact more lives, it's your moral obligation to sell, and this is why. No matter how perfect your product is, if you don't find a way to sell and market to more people, you'll never be able to realize your dreams. Alright, and so fortunately, I have developed a way, right, to sell effectively without having to be too salesy awkward. I'll probably share about this in a future video as well. Right? But end of the day, right, which is if you are here, you're serious to create more lives, impact more people, right, build a better life for you and your family, your loved ones, right, it's your moral obligation to sell, because if you don't, you can't achieve whatever I just mentioned above. Next lesson. Keeping your current customers is more important than finding new customers. So this is one of the lessons that took me the longest to understand, but one of the most powerful ones to use. So one of the core metrics that a lot of successful investors, right, and venture capitalists or private equity firms or even founders they look at is what we call monthly recurring revenue, which is the monthly sales you generate from returning customers, returning clients. And so this simply means that even if you stop all sales and marketing activities today, you still have a consistent and predictable revenue income source for your business. So examples can include Netflix with their Netflix subscription, right? Apple, right, with their iCloud services, gym memberships, right? Or even my coaching program where we have a monthly membership for our clients as well. So today, my most important goal is for my MRR to hit my financial freedom number, because that is when I get to enjoy my ideal income while living my dream lifestyle. And this is the ultimate aim for every client I work with. So focusing on this simply means I will eventually have less stress and enjoy more freedom and fulfillment than before. To summarize the hundreds of hours I have learned on this topic, the most important lesson I've learned is this. Ensure you have a high quality product that gives your current customers a reason to stay. And for most of us, that's how we ultimately win. You got this.